everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video we are going to be hopefully starting the Massey 50. And also, just for context, you can see the flood from up here. It's a lot of ground underwater down there. So the Massey 50, for those of you who are wondering why is it abandoned in the field here, well, it was the main attraction in our maize, which is now cut. You can see where all our paths were based on the grass around, and yeah, it worked very well, very well. And it's actually quite dry up here. I'm kind of thinking I might get pull and beat, but I'll leave that for tomorrow, so I'll get this girl running an hour here. But the ground is actually a lot drier than I thought. Come across in the telly there. Anyways, we did try and start and move this before we cut the maize, but we had a bit of a problem. We had people just climbing up and down, which was grand, but in doing so, this pipe here, heavy pipe, has cracked there. And when we got her running to get her out, she just started spewing oil everywhere. And it is, I'm pretty sure maybe it's not the pipe that feeds it, maybe it's the returns, but anyway, she's under pressure, and it's a big thick ignorant pipe on one of these big nuts, which I have no idea how I'm going to get it open. That end is even worse to try and get in at, and then I have to see whether I can get Johnston's or some of them to get me a new pipe. That one is on a nut in there. That end mightn't be too bad. That hen is going to be bad. I'm going to get some oil. She lost a lot of oil that day because it took me a minute or two to realise how much oil it was leaking. Anyways, we'll have a go at it. So, I've been having a better look here, and I think, because I'm very skeptical of whether I'll be able to get a new pipe and get that end on it. This just goes into a wee block here and then up to there. Now, I can probably take that out and just go straight into that, because it could probably give me a better chance of getting a pipe. At the far end is not a lug, but it's not 32 either. It's the same size as this one. I'd say maybe 36, 34. I'm going to have to go back to the yard to get that, but I reckon my best bet is to take that off. Bring the gun 13s maybe. Have to be tapped into it. And take that off. I'd say that's my best bet. Down to the yard, back up again. I didn't have time to do this when we were at it the last time we were busy, and I only have about an hour to spend at it. It's going to take longer than that. I'm just going to have to abandon it again for another day, because I was kind of double jobbing. We have to go to town and get drinkers and pipes to set up drinkers and pipes for the goats in the shed, and it was more or less, we're going to do that, I get the pipe. But it's going to take me an hour. I need to have the water for the goats, so I can't stay at this. So half about an hour, and after that, Liv is going to be starting to get a bit anxious to get going. So anyways, we see, can we get some bits to get her open? It's working away here, and the pipe literally just broke off. Like, that's how brittle it had gone. And why it broke is probably kids were climbing up and down and standing on that, I'd say. But I have this bit cracked. I was turning it with my hand. Just have to be careful now I don't get my hand caught in the wire. The only problem I have is I brought a 38 up. It's not bloody big enough. I was trying to open this, can't get that. Trying to open up here, can't get that. And I seen this at the yoke on it, and it seemed to be turning. So I'll try this. It's probably not right, because this looks like what should be opened. But that's going to spin and open for me. Will do me grand. Now, happy days. I can get a fitting like that. Highly unlikely, but if I can, or they can repress the pipe into this if that's even possible, we'll be laughing. But yeah, right, we'll go see what we can do. Get the other end off. The other end is the same as that, so fingers crossed it's as easy as that to open. And we have been successful. Pipe off. So I have this end and this. We'll see if I'm able to get stuff to match. Fingers crossed we can. Hopefully we can. But while to get this off, I had to take off the filter top and to get in under it, and I'd spent the last 40 minutes trying to get that off. But I opened up the filter cap. This is the filter. It's kind of collapsed, and it's in very, very bad shape. So I'm just going to bring it with me, go to Johnston's, see can they get me a filter somewhat like that, put a new one in it, and we'll buy a drum of oil for her, and then this fitting is the other end. So provided we can get something that's that size to go on, we'll have that pipe back on. So I'll leave my tools there because we'll be back when we bring this stuff back down to the yard and we tip into town and we get Liv's few bits for the goats while we are at it. So we'll be on. We are back, and unfortunately I can't get bits in Johnston's. They had no filter and they had no fittings big enough to suit what I needed. So I just said, here, I'm not in a rush. I will go up now and we will bring all the tools down, put back the filter cap and block the pipe into the tank, and we'll leave it till the pipes are in. There's no panic on it, but it's a bit annoying. One thing, just while we're here, Father Phil was on a run because we bought a old Tanko Beet cleaner bucket, chopping bucket, because we were getting a bit tired of the high spec and was getting very shook, and we wanted to try and have something a bit easier and a bit easier to use. So I know we said we were looking at one in Johnston's, but couldn't get a deal done on it, and then this one came up in the north, and the big advantage was it has the Q-fit brackets for the telly and the loading shovel. It'll fit both. I think he wants to kind of leave it on the loading shovel so it doesn't have to be changing. So that was a big selling to it, and it was small money too, which also is a big seller. And it has a right good lip on the bucket. It's in right good order. The only thing that's a little bit, I think it's going to seek any price, but the auger in the middle of it is a wee bit battered. But apart from that, she's pretty damn straight. It seems to be in pretty good order. So okay, we'll see how it works out. We'll probably put it on the telly just to be able to spin it and see how she goes, but it's in pretty good order other than that. Anyways, that's something else. Yeah, we'll go tidy up that, we'll get the fittings in and we'll get it done and we'll get her going. Just kind of hoping to have it going today. However, that's how she goes. We have our new bucket on there now. We'll bring it in and give it a go. She's spinning and that. Part of it is just looking at a few bits. The auger's just the only thing now we'll probably have to do something with. We'll see whether she's going to be able to chop Beet. The last fly on the auger in the chopper box is well shook, so I may not be able to chop the last Beet in the bucket, if you know what I mean. We'll see how she goes. Let's see how this goes. And you get the grease cut out as well. And the grease in a ground. The bucket down. So we're going to a few beets. We're not after a lot of beets. We just want to see whether she's going to chop straight away or not, more or less. Yeah. Definitely a hell of a lot easier than a washer chopper. Just back her back and go and have a look and see. Some of it is a bit big, but doesn't seem too bad. Still be in it.
Yeah, give it a spin there.
Yeah, I think the flights aren't just going to the bottom to move it. Yeah. Well, you had a full bucket, it wouldn't.
Needs to chop it smaller than that.
You said you have a box to go on the outside of it, you think? Yeah. So what Father Phil has is a second wheel that goes on this drive shaft here. It's an off and all high spec, and then that runs a second chopper on the outside, just chops it up that bit smaller. So if it chops it up that bit smaller,
you want to be somewhere in that category rather than the big.
But you want that kind of size.
Bit,
yeah. Whereas that's a bit too big. Better than leaving it in the diet feeder for half an hour. It's quicker. And you take some of the dirt out of it.
Yeah, well, if you give it a drop of water, it'll even get more. Spin it again to see what empty out.
It's the next day. We're going to chop some beet with the bucket. Father Phil hasn't had time to find his wheel, so this way goes onto that there, and then it spins again that. The one he has he says is a 6 wheel, so I'll probably have to cut some of the wheels off it because it'll chop it too fine. The other thing we have to do is we have to replace the ram inside it so we can keep the door shut, so that we can actually wash the beet without chopping. But it'll do for now. We'll go chop maybe a bucket or two to feed the cattle for today. That'll be a good. Main thing is this is ready to work straight away. A little bit of work to do to it, but it's working as it is. So we'll get the bit done to it, and it'll still come in at a very cheap bucket for us. The biggest thing is them brackets, and there's a good lip on it. While Liv is putting in the diet feeder there, just got the grease gun out of the workshop. Got to grease the teleporter. Usually have one on, well, I have a grease gun under the seat. There's no grease in it. So I come over and do this. Brendan's just getting a 6480 and the trailer ready to go pull a Beet, because we should get back at Beet today. Because I was across the field yesterday and I thought, geez, this is getting dry, so I said we'd have another bash at it. To get the telly greased, take the bit squeaking over. Probably grease it about every fortnight, I'd say the telly gets greased. And that is the feeding done. So we're going to be let out now for scanning, so that'll be another video. We'll just go up to these guys in here and see what the ration is looking like with the chopped beet. So it should be looking pretty good. Bulls and rations. So that's the current ration. Just waiting on silage samples and maize samples to come back, and bean samples and all that to come back, so we know exactly what way the mix has to go. But it's fairly good as it is now. Cattle are doing well, especially the lads in the slats. Lads in the slats are really beefing up. So they're really beefing up. So you can see the beet. We'll have to get, once we get that star wheel on the outside on that drive, that'll cut these larger bits up. The only thing is, the wheel father fill has is off a high spec, but should still fit it. But it's a 6 stars, what he called it. So it's a really fine chop for feeding to sheep. So we'll have to just take some of the stars off it, just so not to go too hard. The harder we go, the harder it is in the machine to try and force it through. We have to just change them internal auger and then that bigger auger on the outside, and we'll have our beet chopping bucket. Quite handy. That's the crack. The Massey 50, just have to wait on the pipe, the fittings to come in to Johnston's, and I'll be able to get that sorted. We get her going and get her back down, and I'm hoping, kind of run out of time. The biggest thing, you haven't seen the 1200 for a while because we are struggling at the minute to try and get bits for the engine. We're looking for a liner and a full set piston rings for all the pistons. So some of them are cracked and some of them aren't great, so we're going to get them all changed, and then head gasket, headset and all that. It's proven to be difficult, so it is. So if anyone knows where I can get bits for Daffy DU825 engine, let me know, because we've tried one spot, waiting on 2 more spots. I should make a phone call. I'm just waiting to get that out, and then I want to get stone picker in and gone through. I have a big job to do on the drum on it. I want to get the 135 in the radiator change and get her up and running. I'd like to get the Massey 50 sorted. I'd like to get the Zeher sorted. And that doesn't include anything Father Phil wants to do in the workshop. So, but yeah, that's what's kind of holding that up on that front. But anyways, we have cows to scan. Should get pulling Beet, and we'll pick it up in the next video. So hope you enjoyed it. Any comments, leave them in the comments down below. We'll try and get back to you some stage. Anyways, that is it for me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Wednesday and Sunday. That's it for me. Good luck.